All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is our third workshop. We're going to be talking about curriculum development from different aspects, and we're going to go over some of the tools that exist or some of the research that people have explored um, in using AI for curriculum development and different aspects of teaching. My name is Narges Norouzi. I'm an assistant teaching professor in the EECS department of UC Berkeley. My main research is in AI education. My personal training has been in AI during my PhD, but because I'm an assistant teaching professor and I have a lot of student interaction and I teach larger scale courses, I kind of shifted into building different AI tools for larger scale courses and have done a little bit of research in that area. So I'll try to share what I understand in terms of the existing work or the framing around curriculum development with AI in this workshop, but we're going to keep it interactive and we will have people share about their projects as well, and we'll do breakout room discussions as well. So today we're gonna go over the core areas of curriculum development, and we're gonna do team introductions, and we'll share future opportunities as well. So the first thing that we will go and think about is that how do we align our curriculum design with Bloom's taxonomy, and depending on the hierarchy of Bloom taxonomy, what are different tools that have been built or how AI was integrated in to curriculum development, and kind of thinking about once we decide where and when to integrate AI, how can we do backward design to incorporate AI in our design practices as well. We're going to see some tools and platforms, and hopefully we'll build some cross-institutional collaborations amongst the grantees as well. I did this disclaimer every time that we did the workshops. So I want to acknowledge that we all come from different expertise level with AI and different backgrounds. So this is a very interdisciplinary group of faculty. So consider that when you're sharing the details of your projects or sharing your insights in the chat. And as such, please contribute to the conversation in the chat if you have things to share with the community or things that you want to like get comment on, get feedback about. Feel free to share and use the Zoom chat as well. So let's do a quick exercise on thinking about when you think about curriculum design, what is the one word that comes to your mind? This can be related to your project. It can be just generally when thinking about curriculum design, what do you think the emerging themes would look like? Either again, scan the QR code or go to slido.com, enter the 7-digit code, and you'll be there. Outcomes. I like that. Yes, curriculum design can be challenging from multiple aspects, like from one perspective that you already have a curriculum that you revise multiple times, like re-envisioning how you want to redo the curriculum and with AI and teach with AI and teach around AI because the students have access to all of these AI tools. How would you want to incorporate that? It's both innovative and can be overwhelming as well. Human-centered. Thank you for sharing. Alignment. I like flexibility because I feel like in a lot of different good examples of AI curriculum development that I'd seen, or curriculum development with AI that I've seen, the key part is including flexibility because there are different tools and different interaction pathways that the students are going to have with these tools. Critical thinking. Wonderful. Thank you for all the great responses. So as I said, what I'm going to start doing is positioning ourselves in terms of thinking about which area of curriculum development our projects are focused on. So specifically, if we're taking a look at Bloom's taxonomy, and we want to figure out at what cognitive level of a student the intervention that you're gonna build, or like the curriculum redesign or design that you're gonna have is going to target. So it's good to structure it in terms of the cognitive levels that the Bloom taxonomy has. So the first level is remembering, right? So at the bottom of this hierarchy is that we want to make sure that there is a way for students to remember course concepts. So the blue box is always going to be the Bloom taxonomy. The red area is going to be just one example, and then the gray box is going to be some example of useful examples of the use case that exists out there. And again, as we're going through multiple slides, feel free to share your perspective on different other tools or curriculum development and projects that you'd seen. Share that in the chat as well. So on the remember category, so one example of the remember category could be that we want to use AI to summarize course reading, right? So do a text summarization task, do, for example, a video summarization task. Say, for example, you have your lecture video and you want to have a mini lecture for students to review before they go to the discussion sections, right? So those are the things that we want to have tools so that the students can remember what the course was offering. So from that perspective, I was looking at like what are good and successful examples of the remembering category. There's one thing that you might have heard about Perplexity AI, which is really good in summarizing the text, but also adding references. So I think this is very important when we want to think about like how do these summarization tasks could be grounded in the actual slides, in the actual textbook, in the actual references, reliable references online. So that's a good example of including references and grounding the summaries as well. Notion AI is also another tool that is used for summarization and overview tasks. It's mostly for a high-level set of documents and a set of information that then is going to be summarized and is going to be planned out. I also found that there are some interesting browser extensions that you can have with different AI platforms. Like, for example, there's ChatGPT file uploader browser extension, and many more extensions that would basically handle extra functionalities that are generally not handled by ChatGPT. So for example, you could really dump the entire course content, really large files, and then it will be able to process it, categorize it, and kind of summarize that information for students and maybe even students or educators as well. In the second tier of the Bloom taxonomy, we have understand. So do we have a way of incorporating AI so that the students can demonstrate understanding, or we can basically help them understand things better? So it could be a way that we incorporate, for example, an AI module that says that let's have a student interact with AI and having AI understand whether a student mastered a certain concept or not. We've seen a lot of different good examples of that with Khan Academy, Hanmigo with Khan Academy, or like different platforms that people are using for reading scientific papers. So I don't know if you heard about elicit.org or Explain Paper. These are really interesting kind of platforms. You basically pass a paper and it will walk you through the important parts of the paper that you should read. And then it will do the QA so that it makes sure that you understand each one of the parts before you move on to the next part of reading the paper. But then technically you don't need to read the entire paper. So that's a kind of a quick way of reading scientific papers for people who are doing research. So these are some just general examples of those. The third category is apply. So you want to have the students demonstrate that they can apply the things that they learn, right? So quick kind of examples of that is Copilot, different kinds of AI tutoring systems. For example, for data science, there's Data Camp. Or for example, there are different ways that you can do design and also be able to do the design, get feedback, and also apply your understanding of that design principles on different platforms. Like one of them is Canva, Magic Write, and Design. So I'm going to go through the fourth category. The first category is analyze. So say, for example, if you want to have the students demonstrate not only that they can apply, but they can analyze the quality of some work that's been created. So in these cases, you can basically have the students do critique of the existing work. So for example, in the curriculum design, we'll have the students do peer review of each other's works, right? So there's peer septive or peer grade that are generally used for, or at least the tools that I know about, peer grading and doing the critical review of each other's work. There's also Brisk Teaching, which is a platform that takes writing of the students and then it basically tags the writing in terms of evidence, claim, and counter arguments. And then basically using those taggings, people can figure out whether their argument is properly set up, whether their writing is proper or not, and basically understand how they can grade essays. The other thing that I want to share in the next layer is evaluate. So once the students are capable of applying, they can also analyze the quality of someone's work, and then they should be able to evaluate. So in terms of the evaluation, you could think about having the students building the capability of comparing two different things with each other. Not only that they're correct, but also like measuring their respective quality. A lot of the AI curriculum development is also around, so how do you do prompt engineering? So like do prompt engineering, get a response for a certain thing, and then keep improving it. And in the cycle of keep improving it, that builds a student's understanding of how well they can evaluate the quality of their understanding of a certain material. There are different platforms for prompt engineering tool like Prompt Layer, Open Prompt Studio. There's also a work from Berkeley, Chatbot Arena, that I don't know if people have seen it or not, but it's basically a side-by-side comparison of different models. You could basically have the students come try different things on this platform, so they can do chat, they can do search, they can also do text to image generation. And then the responses are going to be generated by different models that you can basically try to understand which one of them would you prefer and provide your preferences, and also have a conversation with these models in two parallel sessions and kind of see, depending on the prompt engineering that you're doing, how would they directly compare with each other. So this is kind of an interesting tool that you can use. It's open source, so it's open that you can use in any of the design choices that you're making for your curriculum design. And the last layer is create. So like the ultimate thing that I think we can include in AI curriculum development is not only creating materials with AI, like for example, there's a lot of like, okay, like can I create a course outline with AI? Can I create like a lecture outline? Can I create a presentation outline with AI? But also create AI with AI when you're teaching courses. Like the ultimate thing that one can include, for example, and create competency for students is to have them design a chatbot, and a chatbot for different use cases, right? In different fields and in different courses. So one good example is Cognimate, which teaches young kids how to create different games, different AI programs, different AI models, but it provides a scaffolding for that. So these are kind of general. If I want to structure our understanding of where do our curriculum design effort would go to, I would think about like anything that we build would go to one of these 6 different categories. So hopefully we can also kind of think about where our own projects that's funded is positioned. It can be more than one of these categories, but it's helpful to know what kind of things or what kind of goal the project is going to have in mind. Going back to the Bloom taxonomy on the cognitive levels that we're trying to facilitate. So what I have is also kind of thinking about the general principles of curriculum design, and we're all familiar with this, but I'm just repeating that every time that we're going into one of those categories and we're trying to build something for that a specific category in Bloom taxonomy, we would think about doing the backward design of the curriculum, right? So we go and think about the learning outcomes. So this is where it would be interesting for us as a group to sit down and do project evaluations in terms of like, let's think about what are the ultimate learning outcomes that we want to have in the courses. How would you categorize it? What data would you collect in order to identify that whether you achieve those learning outcomes or not, or the tool that you built have achieved those outcomes or not, or the program that you designed have achieved those learning outcomes or not. And then the second thing is that we'll basically decide about acceptable evidences. So those evidences are basically the data that we need to collect, right? So for example, are you going to take a look at the student's critique on the AI output? Are you going to take a look at what a student created in terms of a portfolio, in terms of a design, or the homework that they submitted? And then going one step up is that just now going ahead and deciding about the interface that the student is going to have with the curriculum so that it leads to those learning outcomes. And that's kind of the backward design that we always have. And obviously, we all know that we could use AI tools for different things. We can create curriculum all across the board. It's been done in the literature that you can design syllabus, you can design lesson plans, assessments, summaries, text summary, do lecture summarization, do video summarization, create all sorts of supplementary materials. You can create worked examples for students. You can create practice problems for students, depending on where they're at in a semester or in a quarter, so that they can get prepared for the midterm exam or for the final exam. There's all of those personalized supplementary materials that can be created as part of the curriculum development. We can actually think about using AI tools in order to tailor content for students, right? Say tailoring content, meaning that like breaking down the complexity of the content that we're teaching for different students differently. That's where the personalized learning is going to come hand in hand with the curriculum design that we're doing. And obviously, there's all sorts of different assessments that people do create with AI, like such as quizzes, exit tickets, exams, practice problems, worked examples, and all of those things. So I want to quickly acknowledge that there are benefits to all of these things that we do, right? So it will give us a quick prototype. It will basically support wide variety of learners. So it's a lot of supplementary material that we can create for students. But obviously there are issues. So we should carefully fact check these outputs. We should make sure that what we're creating is not a generic knowledge or a generic kind of curriculum, but the curriculum that we design or the things that we design are grounded in the entire portfolio of the program that your course or your program is part of. So in that sense, I would see that everything that we're doing is going to accelerate creation of the curriculum and enhancing teaching, but with a lot of supervision from the faculty side to make sure that what we're creating is relevant and accurate and inclusive for all of the students. So this was a quick kind of me running down and like thinking about how do we generally categorize all the efforts that we're doing, going back to the Bloom taxonomy. But now I want to go around the room and have people reflect on where their project is focusing on, right? It might be, again, more than one of these categories in the Bloom taxonomy hierarchy. So what we can do is we can go around the room and use our digital hand, raise your hand, and in the order of hands, we're gonna go and have you introduce yourself, tell us which institution you're from and what is your project, and where do you think the focus of your project is at. And hopefully this is a time that you can share more information about your project with the entire group. Feel free to, after you do the introduction, put a link to your website or to your project in the chat so people can also record it and connect with each other after this workshop. So please use the raise hand option so we can go around the room. I think we can get started with Julie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Simons. I'm at UC Santa Cruz. Our project name, and this is a collaboration with Cal Maritime and UC Davis, It's about generative AI literacy and gateway writing and math classes. And I'm on the math side, so a lot of the activities that I'm working on with students and curriculum is developing materials that, I guess, in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, it would really be around the understand and apply stage of learning, especially because these are gateway classes. I'm trying to push into that analyze stage with these students, but that is a challenge to get my students to recognize flaws in any mathematical work, let alone AI work. So I think that's it for me.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm next. So my name is Sundar. I'm from the University of California, Riverside, and I'm working with Cal Poly Pomona and with Norco College on developing tools for success in engineering programs, primarily in mechanical, electrical, civil, and chemical. So far, I think we are landing in the remember and understand stage of the Bloom's taxonomy. So a couple of things that we have done is the first one we have done is summarizing a lecture. So we have been able to feed like handwritten notes for an entire lecture. So an 80-minute lecture, we feed it into this into the AI model, and it basically extracts certain things. It extracts the key points.
Mm.
It also extracts like, for example, if there is a derivation, it extracts the derivation, it extracts the definitions, any examples that the instructor has gone through, and it also creates a short quiz based on that particular lecture. And it outputs the whole thing in the form of an HTML. Actually, no, it's in the form of a markdown, so that the instructor can go in and edit any mistakes that that the AI generator has produced, and they can then upload it to the Canvas page or to the platform that we're developing. So that kind of fits well with the summarization and understanding part of it. The other aspect of it is we are developing adaptive quizzes and adaptive questions. And again, this is more on the understand and apply side of things. But when you're doing adaptive questions, especially in like for math, physics, and engineering, these questions can be fairly complex. There's like tons of checks to be done, and also tons of several different values, intermediate values that need to be created, diagrams to be drawn, etc., etc. So we have an engine that basically we have to basically code everything out in JavaScript or in Python, and then import it into the platform. That's a pretty it's a pretty time-consuming process. It used to take us an hour or sometimes an hour and a half to develop. If it's a reasonably complex question, it can take an hour and a half. Now we have been using AI to do that. So we have been able to automate it, and the time has come down to about 2 minutes. So you're able to develop, the AI is able to do it very quickly, and then the instructor again has to go through and then make a check, make sure that the values are all correct and the output is correct. So those are the two applications that we have so far in the space, and that's how we're using it.
That's wonderful. I want to share that because you're doing summarization in Markdown, there is a tool called Corto. I don't know if you heard about it. I'll find it, the link, and I'll post it. You can basically render Markdowns or notebooks into a website. So you can technically have a website of the course notes or a summary of the notes for students on the course website linked. So it's a pretty cool and minimal effort thing that you can just add as a cherry on top. So thank you
What
for
is it called?
sharing.
Corta?
Corto,
Okay.
actually, it's let me try finding it here. I think
Oh,
that's how it's Corto.
Quarto. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Hello, everybody. I'm Roger Yang. I'm part of a team at Pasadena City College working on an AI-enhanced math curriculum. Our project is about rethinking how we teach math so students build a deep conceptual understanding, critical thinking, and real-world modeling skills in an AI-enhanced world. Our emphasis is primarily on Calculus 1, and we're developing Python-based labs, inquiry-driven modules, and classroom practices that will help students not only use AI, but also question it, verify its outputs, and explore ideas more deeply. So as far as this Bloom's taxonomy chart goes, I mean, for sure, we're on the apply level as we're trying to work with the AI to teach students some coding. We're definitely in the analyze portion where we're trying to critique, the outputs. We would like to move into the evaluate and create, but I don't know. We're still in the process of exploring those ideas. And our long-term goal is to empower students to become problem solvers in a world where AI is everywhere. So it's really not just knowing how to use it, but also really how to think with it. So we're really trying to attack that critical thinking aspect, which would be the higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I was reading a paper last week on a new work that basically people are trying to improve like math tutoring, right? It's a hard thing. It hallucinates. It's not always pedagogical. And there was one work that, if I can find it, I'll add a link to the slides, that was interesting. It was saying that if you have a large language model to take notes as like an instructor is teaching or as it reads, for example, a course document, then based on the notes, it can provide more pedagogical hint as opposed to just saying that, oh, like this is like Calc 1, Calc 2, provide hints. So like having that level of guidance or like internalization that like what is the student reading of this context look like, and then be able to use that to provide feedback to students seem to have been working. And I think that's the state of art in terms of like pedagogical hint generation for math. But thank you for sharing. That's super exciting.
Thank you.
Alberta, I think is next.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? You can call me Albert, actually. I'm the program coordinator for computer science at CSUB. My grant is the Elevate grant. We are a little bit of create, a little bit of evaluate, and I actually like to use the term AI experience to move beyond the idea that ChatGPT can simply be some sort of chatbot. We are also evaluating, attempting to assess against the control scenario, which at this point, as you know, is students' unregulated use of AI, whether we are involved or not. We want synthesis, basically. We believe that ChatGPT is a social construct that can actually engage the student in their zone of proximal development. And I'm going to say something that may be a little spicy, maybe a little controversial, but I believe that static material, such as lecture notes, slides, and videos, may even be outdated as the result of this sort of innovation. We want students in the classroom to participate in an experience, a custom GPT that instructors carefully design, and that is actually the assignment, not multiple choice, not fill in the blank, etc., to participate in viva voce oral assignments administered by custom GPTs that the instructor then evaluates based on the conversation log that the GPT has with the student. This is multidisciplinary. We have a lot of departments on campus involved, both STEM and non-STEM, and we're also hosting a lot of workshops for students and faculty, mostly to combat AI alarmism, also to discuss whether the digital skills gap actually persists even with people's use of GPT, like things like vernacular and English use, that sort of thing. Basically, our ultimate goal is to get faculty to accept the idea that student use of ChatGPT in a class is not automatically a type of cheating.
Great, wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Amy, good to see you. You're next.
Hey, my name is Amy Iguchi. I'm from UC San Diego. I don't have the full title, but our project is to create sort of math tutoring system for the undergraduate students, mainly freshmen, getting into STEM field who need more math support to be able to take the math courses that they actually need for their degree. I am on the evaluation side of the project. I have some understanding of the tutoring system itself. We're using Vocarium platform, and then also we're collaborating with the California Community College system. At this point, we're still piloting the system that we created. We don't really do curriculum development part of the work, but I'm thinking whatever we find from this project is gonna probably help us to improve the curriculum, because it's gonna inform what's the best way to help students who have different math concept missing from the K-12 education. So we're trying to differentiate the support instruction to customize for different students with different skill and knowledge levels. In terms of Bloom taxonomy, because of the kind of work that we're doing, I think we're staying around understand and apply level for students to be able to understand the different concept, math concept, and then apply in different project or programs, so that they can move on to the next level. I think that's it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lori Borchard, and I'm here with two of my other colleagues. So I'm a librarian. I'm here with my colleague Amber Jansen, another librarian here at Cal Maritime. And also Will Tsai is here. He's a mechanical engineering faculty, and our project is looking at developing some AI literacy instructional materials and modules that we're piloting in some courses that focus on quantitative analysis. So we're kind of in the understand apply area here. And a part of the project is we'll be looking at using AI for literature review and searching for information, as well as analyzing data, and then also writing up and kind of what the responses are for those projects. And I'll let my colleague Will talk a little bit more about the context of some of the courses that we're going to be in.
Oh, sounds good. Thanks, Lori. Yeah, actually, I think that summarized it pretty well. So I'm from the engineering side. Pretty interested in applying this to a bunch of our lab courses, both on the physics side and on the engineering side. Um, Definitely on the literature search, just sort of helping them parse through sometimes what can be quite challenging papers or intimidating papers. And maybe an AI tool will help them get over that activation energy barrier. And looking at it for sort of taking data and processing data, because AI does open up some interesting ways. Even in a physics lab, when you're recording your data by hand, you can use an AI tool to help improve that process. You can generate plots, you can start to extract things out of it. But and so in that case, we're applying it, but also just to take a step back and making sure that those data products are correct, because they can look perfectly correct, but if you don't apply critical thinking, they may actually be quite meaningless. So like my background's fluid mechanics, and with computational fluid mechanics, we always say garbage in, garbage out. And so really hammering that this is a really cool tool, but you got to make sure your inputs are valid. And in this case, the tool is valid so that you're getting useful results. So kind of encompassing all of those elements in these different classroom environments.
Wonderful. Thank you. As you were sharing about like parsing through the literature and also like understanding the literature for students as well so that they can read papers, there was a very interesting work. I think it started at least 2016 from UCLA. I think that's from the like biomedical science department or area. They created this course that was called Research Deconstruction. And I just heard about it in the conference. I don't know the details like in the details clearly, but it was basically that let's run a course, have a paper, and then like have students go through the paper and like highlight all the words that they don't understand. Then we will basically decide about like a certain set of lectures to go and like demystify each one of those words and teach them directly those words. Like instead of students needing to take like a whole bunch of courses in ML to be able to read an ML course, Like, what if we just teach those keywords and then have them understand that paper after like 3 or 4 lectures? And then at the end, they would bring the author in to the lecture, and the students would ask, would have a QA session with the author. So I'm thinking that it would be very cool if someone would have built like an AI companion for demystifying like kind of research papers, and like whether that could basically go as part of the curriculum for any field as well. So you can basically have a first year freshman course and like understanding the research in computer science, understanding the research in like law, and understanding research in this area, but just have an AI companion instead of having a full course. Sorry, it just sounded so interesting that I wanted to share with everyone. I think Stephanie is next.
Thank you. My name is Stephanie Tran. I am from Cypress College, which is part of the North Orange County Community College District, and we are partnering with the University of California, Irvine and Cal State University, Fullerton. And our project is enhancing academic writing and digital literacy with an AI coach. And so UCI has developed Papyrus AI, which is an AI writing coach, and we will be deploying it in our foundational and disciplinary writing courses at our institutions. And the aim is to hopefully improve students' academic writing and digital literacy with a focus on a responsible and human-centered approach to AI. But right now, what we're actually working on is developing curriculum to train faculty so that they can then use Papyrus AI with their students. And so we were just working on our outcomes yesterday. And for the faculty, we're really looking at apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. And so those are kind of the areas that we're working on for the faculty-facing professional development. And then when faculty then work with students, it will really be up to the individual faculty whether they want to, work in the remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate areas. But we are hoping to focus more on critical AI literacy. So I think that would be under analyze and evaluate. And so that's the short of our project.
Wonderful. That's exciting. Thanks for sharing.
Hi, so I'm Carl Whithouse from UC Davis, and I'm working on the PAIR project, which is Peer and AI Review and Reflection. It's not entirely dissimilar to the project coming out of Southern California, working with Papyrus AI, but we're working with my essay feedback. Partner schools are Glendale, LA Mission, College of Marin, American River, and then Bakersfield, Maritime, and Sac State. And I would say in terms of what we're trying to do is we're really thinking about how students can use feedback from AI to improve their writing, but use that in conjunction with a human in the loop approach, and include peer review as part of that process. In some ways, I would say in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, we fit in both the analyze and evaluate categories, because we're really asking students to be able to compare different types of AI feedback based on different prompts that they're providing, but also looking at peer feedback, and in some ways be able to evaluate which pieces of feedback are most useful for the particular writing task that they're working on. The idea is that they will then later carry these strategies for helping get feedback and revise projects onto the future, so that they can then work either with particular AI tools or also with humans, either classmates in academic settings or folks in the workforce, in order to get the most effective feedback to advance their writing projects. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there going to be also an element where you provide insights to whoever is going to grade those essays, like any kind of like highlighting, segmentation, labeling, that would help them, like, because there's a lot of work on essay grading. So I wonder if like you're going to tap into that area as well.
Yeah, we're drawing a little bit on some earlier work with automatic essay scoring and feedback. We're also, in terms of our professional learning communities in the summer and during the year, we're really also trying to see how we can include graduate student TAs in our pilot project. Some of what we learned the most from was actually the TAs in like environmental science writing courses and how they provided feedback. To answer your question, though, the project is less focused on the graders and annotation through AI, and more focused on the students generating feedback from the tools and then sort of triangulating between the AI feedback from particular prompts and the TA feedback. The one thing that I'd say that's really interesting from our pilot study is we originally had people doing like a single prompt and then just responding to that. But the most successful students, and this won't surprise you, were students who were iterative in terms of conversations. And so that's an interesting finding that we want to do more with.
Great, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Hello. Okay. Hi. I'm Yufan Ling. I'm from Cal Poly Pomona, and working on the project with the San Francisco State. So my project name is customizable AI integration in higher education and marketing examples. So we're particularly looking at a gap in the current practice. That is, we have a Gen AI module, such as from San Diego State. They create a Gen AI literacy module, which is like good quality. However, it's still lecture-based. Didn't really leverage the interactive nature of Gen AI. So second is there's no coherent story in business with a good case or other contexts that linking multiple Gen AI components together. So which make all the example pretty ad hoc and here and there. And finally, for faculty, we did a survey with faculty. They have a really big gap in differences in terms of the XP level in the Gen AI. So they're not comfortable kind of adopting the same type of a system that across all Bloom taxonomy, because themselves, they haven't reached that certain level, so they can't teach a student with the higher level. Therefore, our project is customizable. So we designed 3 different levels modules to help the faculty adapt to their own level, starting from the AI in business modules that covering like AI foundation theory in business, ethics in business, and data analysis in business. And so that's on the remember and understand. And on the AI-powered data analysis part, so we teach students from business tool like Excel, Copilot used together with the ChatGPT and Claude, and to write the function to test regression within Excel. Then we move outside to do it directly in Gen AI, and then finally do it in Colab or Quarto within R. So that's the in the apply stage. And then we also have case studies that's based on real businesses that so our team wrote and under second round review at the Harvard Business Publishing Education case catalog. So hopefully we're going to publish those soon, and those will be at the analyze, evaluate, and create level, because those cases are all AI powered. So in the cases already building, for example, different chatbot that are already programmed to that student evaluate which one meets the customer service criteria, such as service quality the best. And which one that based on the different prompt engineering method, they actually have flaw in their responses, such as hallucination, and how do you detect and correct that? And finally, in one of the case, the 2 of the case, students also need to create their own customized chatbot to improve on the 2 flawed ones based on the principle we learned, and the other chatbot also on the critical thinking part. So to help business plan for uncertain future, like a current tariff situation, so they can feed the news to the chatbot, and chatbot will tell, okay, here's a trend that changed. So what you should do, and to probe a student instead of giving them an answer. So those are the our project approach. So it's customizable across all different Bloom taxonomy, and the instructor, they can pick and choose based on their comfort level. So currently the most biggest barrier is to measure it. So the critical, because we really want to measure the critical thinking in the AI era. However, we haven't found a kind of coherent framework across the different kind of dimension of critical thinking. Right now, there's some established work such as this one pasting in the chat, like SIFT move. That's mainly looking at the misinformation. So because AI can generate fake references or low quality references. So this gained a lot of traction. I saw a lot of librarians that recommend this method, but that's only on the misinformation. So not on the other parts of critical thinking. So we're wondering if there's any colleague can kind of provide us on some suggestion on that, measuring the critical thinking before and after. That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. I love the broad coverage. If we have time at the end, we're going to talk about the future steps of this group and like what are other things that we can think about and talk about it together, such as evaluation and kind of sharing resources. But let's go through the rest of our faculty colleagues before we head to the evaluation piece. Hi, Edward.
Hello, I'm Edward. I represent a interdisciplinary team faculty here at Cal State Fullerton. We also, similar to the previous speaker, we also have a customizable chatbot that allows students to participate in sort of course content-based authentic mock job interviews to increase their understanding and preparedness for the job market. So basically, this AI-powered mock interview bot likes it can support these inclusive learning experiences to give students this practice of an authentic interview setting. It can be customized by both instructors and students, so it works for any discipline, any course, and it can be customized to meet the goals of students and instructors. Instructors can customize it to use their own preloaded course content to formulate these interview questions to satisfy the learning goals of the course. And then this, of course, will help enhance the students' deeper understanding of the material. And the students also can customize the bot to simulate an interview for an authentic or even a fantasy job posting for an occupation they may want to apply for one day. So hopefully this will set them up to thrive for the real interview in the future. So we hope that this improving student learning through course content-based mock interview and also it's a customizable learning experience because of the adaptive interview format. It provides students with immediate feedback on their performance, and it provides students with improved interview skills before entering the job market. I think these would fall under sort of maybe understand and evaluate maybe, but also I think we are expanding here, and that this would fall under analyze, where also we'll take a lot of the information that the chatbot is providing for our students and instructors, and then we'll evaluate that and look for flaws, I guess, or biases really with respect to the backgrounds of the students, the types of courses that the bot has been used for, the backgrounds of the students with related to their racial, ethnic, linguistic cues, maybe cultural distinctions, and also the types of jobs that they are applying for. Or so that's about it. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Barbara.
All right. So my name is Barbara Birch, and I am from Quality Matters, which is a nonprofit that has high quality course design standards. And we are partnering with and supporting San Jose State University on their project. And I don't think anyone from there is here in this meeting today. But the short name of the project is Spartan AI. And what it is really for is to help faculty design high quality courses that align with the Quality Matters rubric standards on things like learning objectives, assessments, activities, tools used in the course, accessibility. And so what the faculty member is going to be able to do is upload materials for their course. And then Spartan AI is going to evaluate. So that would be the Bloom's evaluate, analyze, and evaluate, I would say, how those materials line up with the Quality Matters standards and make recommendations for what the instructor would need to do to improve the course and have it line up with Quality Matters better. And then once the instructor has interacted with the course and improved the materials, it will be sort of an iterative type of back and forth with the AI. So in some senses, it would be on the create area of Bloom's. And then after the course is improved, then Spartan AI will allow the instructor to actually run their course through it again and do a quality assurance check of the course so that they can feel a little bit more confident about it. So really, I would say that it has to do this particular project with analyze, evaluate, and create. And it sort of loops back and forth between all of those.
Wonderful. Thank you. We're running a little bit short on time, so I would like my next two faculty colleagues to also quickly introduce themselves before we wrap up. Jennifer. Do we have Jennifer? Anaya, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. Hi from Central Valley. I am an assistant professor. My name is Hana Yoya. I'm assistant professor, media communication and journalism here at the Fresno State. My project is developing an AI software to enable the user to interact with Japanese American, the people who were incarcerated during the war in the Central Valley. So we are utilizing the library resources to develop this AI. We got a grant from the California Learning Lab. So that's the project we are working on. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Jennifer, are you there? If not, we'll move on to a wrap up. Okay. So as you will see, I had a plan for a breakout room, so I'm gonna spur you, and we're not doing breakout room today because of the time, but I want us to share future opportunities. So make a note of these two future opportunities and save the dates. There is one workshop from the Best Ed that works with Learning Lab on designing outcome-oriented project evaluations. So that's on May 15th. You'll get probably a separate email notification from Learning Lab about that to sign up for that workshop. There is also the National Data Science Workshop at Berkeley that's going to be on June 23rd to 27th. So if you go through the website, it basically talks about the details of what will be covered on different days, introduction of the different curriculums, AI education, there will be panels and whatnot. You'll need to, if you want to join, please go ahead and fill out this form. This is kind of first come, first serve, and the spots are limited because I think we have the capacity of 100-ish faculty to join the national workshop. So please fill out this form if you're interested in coming. So you'll basically see what will be actually the topic on each one of these specific days. The note from us is that if you, since you're joining as part of being a collaborator with Learning Lab, make sure that you mention in your application that you're part of AI Challenge so that you get priority. This is one more future opportunity that we wanted to share with you. So if you just search National Workshop on Data Science Education, you will find the link. You can come both in person or you can join online. So the event is hybrid. So I think we're kind of close to time, but because this is our last workshop of this series of 3 workshops that we ran to kind of get to know all of the projects and have you get to know each other, I wonder what kind of support do you think you would need in your projects moving forward? One thing that we identified is that probably we need to also sit together and think about what kind of data we need to collect, what kind of evaluation should we do? Could we actually like have additional support or additional collaboration on the design of the evaluation and like kind of formalizing the research that you're doing. But please share here what kind of support do you think we can provide? What kind of additional workshops or sessions do you think that might be helpful? And we can kind of take note of that in the next 2-3 minutes. So again, scan the QR code, add your thoughts, or go to slido.com. I love that comment, Amy. I think periodical sharing of the progress would be helpful. I'm also thinking that generally summer is a good time for a lot of us to focus on research because we're not doing a lot of teaching. So that's the time that we can basically get motivated by just getting together as a group and discuss projects and give project updates. I like that idea. Any other thoughts, suggestions? Mentoring and evaluation is a great idea. Yeah, critical thinking measurement like goes under the category of thinking about evaluation, what data we collect. So one thing that I'm always thinking is that like we build a lot of different interesting tools and then interesting different programs. But if we fail to collect the data at the right time before our interventions go into effect, then we're losing the chance of actually doing the comparison on like how much added benefit did we provide by these projects. So I think having a timely conversation of what kind of data should we think about collecting and kind of aligning that with different outcomes of the projects should be an interesting conversation. Research using AI development, experimental design with AI intervention. Yeah, I love that. We also had different kind of thoughts about how to support you if you need help by, if you need help for like designing your research in a way that we can write a research article, like what kind of journals or conferences would be more applicable and what's the reasonable timeline for what can be presented in those conferences. So I would love to also have that conversation if we have more time. So these are good feedback for us. So given that this is Friday and we're at time, I want to conclude here and thank you for joining this workshop and thank you for a lot of you who came to all of the 3 workshops. It was fun to get to know all of your projects. We'll be in touch with future planning and additional events that we can have, or also sharing to what extent I can provide one-on-one support to different projects by email. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great weekend ahead. Bye.